more besides myself. They have seen an angel who has testified to them, and they will have to bear witness to the truth of what I have said. For now they know for themselves that I do not go about to deceive the people. And I feel as if I was relieved of a burden which was almost too heavy for me to bear. And it rejoices my soul that I am not any longer to be entirely alone in the world.
In the summer of 1829, as the translation of the Book of Mormon was nearing completion, the prophet obtained the copyright for the publication of the book. He next set out to find a printer. The most obvious choice was E.B. Grandin of Palmyra, New York. Grandin initially turned down the opportunity to print the Book of Mormon, but eventually he was persuaded that it wouldn't hurt his career for him to publish it.
The process of creating the printed page meant that you would have, as part of the printing staff, a compositor who actually would stand near a type frame, and just through practice, experience, and dexterity came the ability of a compositor to draw quickly letters from those upper and lower case drawers and place them into a composing stick, and just by touch know if the letter is facing the right direction or etc.
The 1830 edition of the Book of Mormon consisted of 37 signatures of 16 pages each. The signature is a large sheet of paper that has printing on both sides, such that when the page is folded together, it produces the pages in sequence and in the proper orientation. After one copy of that was made, it would be sent off to be proofread. Oliver Cowdery was the primary proofreader of the Book of Mormon. After all of the corrections were made in the typesetting, then all 5,000 copies of it could be printed on both sides, and then work could begin on the next signature.
As the printed pages came off the press and were dried, they were loaded on pallets and apparently lowered down to the second floor from the third to the bindery, where they were folded and cut with it appears to be a bone knife. And then 37 of these signatures would come together, and first one would be placed in the stitching rack, and then a second applied and it would be stitched, then a third right on through. And so this very tedious hand sewing of all of these 5,000 copies of the first edition were done right there on the second floor.
The prophet turned to Martin Harris once again to help him with the physical production and the cost of the Book of Mormon.
Even though Martin Harris had seen the plates and the angel, he still had reservations about whether or not the book would sell and whether or not he would lose his property. In a revelation that we now know as Section 19 of the Doctrine and Covenants, the Lord instructed Martin Harris not to covet his own property, but to give it freely for the printing of the Book of Mormon. As it turned out, his concerns were well-founded. The Book of Mormon didn't sell very well, and Martin Harris ended up losing 151 acres of his farm to pay for it. Eventually, when the Book of Mormon came out, it sold originally for $1.75, finally for $1.25, and in some cases it was simply given away.
There is no record like the Book of Mormon. We have all heard that the Book of Mormon is the most correct book of any of the books on the face of the earth, and that a person can get nearer to God by abiding by its principles than any other book. That is one of the grand purposes of the Book of Mormon, but more specifically, the Book of Mormon was given to us to help us come to know the Lord Jesus Christ as the Messiah. There is no book like the Book of Mormon to bring people to a knowledge of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is the great mediator between man and God, our Father in heaven. The Book of Mormon is one of the most magnificent books, one of the most magnificent records that has ever been given to humankind. How blessed and fortunate we are to have this record because of the efforts of the prophet Joseph Smith.